Hey Daddy, I haven't forgotten about you. Idea that this might take place in the year 20, I forgot what century we're in for a second. So many people think that the first Doctor changed clothes when he regenerated into the second Doctor. That didn't happen. If you literally look, maybe the 14th Doctor isn't actually even gonna get a regeneration scene. Hey, what's up guys? You probably know maybe your favorite YouTuber here. We are back in the world of Doctor Who again. The fans are divided. Is Tales of the TARDIS separating the UK from everyone else? Is the BBC trying their best? Is Russell trying his best? Why is he blocking people? What's going on? Is it too conservative? Is it too liberal? Are the ratings gonna go down? Are they gonna go up? Doesn't matter. Is Disney Plus gonna save the day? Or is Disney Plus deal screwing over everybody? I don't want to get into that, because if I get into that I will talk for a very long time. What I want to do is make a quick video, because I was thinking about doing this as like a Reddit post. I've been going on Reddit a lot. I know that gets a lot of hate for some reason, but like, I think Reddit's a great place. Like, there are tons of subreddit communities of all these different topics, and if you ask a question, usually you'll get a pretty good answer from at least somebody, and when you're looking for an answer to a question, all you really need is one good answer. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the politics of Reddit either. What I want to do is make a quick video just talking about everything that I know about the future of Doctor Who in this moment. And I just want to make it clear that I know that even though I'm hoping that I can upload this video today, at the same day that I'm filming it, November 9th, 2023, I know this video will already be out of date. I know that there are tons of quotes of, like, Fairies just uploaded a video saying Russell T Davies might stay on for 7 seasons, which, hey, I believe it, but I think that's, like, too far in the future to even be thinking about. Like, dude, like, I think it's honestly crazy that we're filming Series 15 when we don't even know how Series 14 is going to do, but hey, they're confident. Disney's investing in it. Reminder that at the time of filming this, not even the Star Beast is out. Like, the Star Beast is out. It was funny when Russell T Davies was like, oh, we already have, like, the next, what was it, 9, 15 episodes shot? And it was like, it's funny, like, to think, like, yeah, the Star Beast is in fact shot. In fact, the last I checked, I think it's ready for broadcast, or at least in very late post-production. So, yes, it's shot, and also a lot of other steps, too. Anyway, the Star Beast. We know that this is going to be adapting a apparently very famous comic from the 70s that starred the 4th Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith fighting Beep the Meep and the Wrath Warriors and stuff. I think this is going to be fine. I think that this is going to be the least of the 60th anniversaries, like the least anniversary type episode, obviously, because this is also meant to incorporate new fans. Like, you know, Russell T Davies is like, oh, we're going to restart at season 1, which I think is a weird idea, but if that's what Disney wants to do, then okay, I get it. But at the same time, the first episode that you're putting on... Oh, I think my hot dogs are ready. So yeah, this is going to be the first episode put on Disney Plus. It's going to be the first episode that a lot of new fans are going to be seeing. So I think it's a good idea to just kind of start small. You know, we're obviously going to be referencing the 10th Doctor and Donna's relationship a lot, the 14th Doctor, but, you know, referencing the 10th Doctor and how we left off, and then it'll probably be a fairly simple story. You know, I remember that leak from a while ago, from way before we even knew for sure if David Tennant was the next Doctor or not. By the way, I just want to mention, it is such a fun thing now when people are like, wait, who's the Doctor then right now? And I just say, David Tennant. We won't get to say that for much longer, but anyway, I think this is a cool idea. My main concern, and this is a nitpick, and I know it's not really something that I should put that much thought into, but I will be kind of sad if we're just going to go with the idea that the original Star Beast comic isn't canon. Teddy's playing... What are you doing?
Yeah, Teddy, what you doing, man? Teddy, you trying to scratch the wood? What you up to?
I know with Doctor Who it's like, oh, everything's canon, nothing's canon, only what you want is canon, whatever. I just think it would be very kind of in poor faith to immediately start this new era by claiming that a comic from the Doctor Who magazine isn't actually canon, when Russell T Davies has gone ahead and said that, like, did all this thing with liberation of the Daleks. Oh, the Star Beast takes place an hour after whatever. It makes me wonder, like, is Big Finish going to be able to do stories in this era? Like, will they only, like, will the Star Beast lead directly into Wild Blue Yonder, and that will lead directly into The Giggle, and that won't really leave any gaps for Big Finish to do 14th Doctor and Donna stories? Or they could do 14th Doctor stories, but they would have to take place before the Star Beast? Because I don't think Big Finish is really bound by whatever Doctor Who magazine does if they decide to lead directly into the Star Beast, or leave a gap in the middle of their story. Who knows? Apparently there was supposed to be a line from, like, in one of these specials that specifically references Liberation of the Daleks, the comic story, but they cut it because they don't want new fans to be confused, or even just casual fans, even like fans to be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to read a Doctor Who magazine? That sounds like a lot. I'm not sure if I want to invest in this franchise really, if it's this much work. But it's like, okay, if you're gonna cut a line, maybe I should get a microphone one day, huh? If you're gonna cut a line from Doctor Who magazine, but also go out of your way to be partners with Doctor Who magazine in this whole thing, is Doctor Who magazine canon or not? I know that it doesn't matter, but like, that's what got me confused. Like, is this truly an adaptation? Is the Doctor ever gonna say like, oh, I feel like I've done this before? Is the Doctor ever gonna be like, oh, who's Beep the Meep? I know that we can just pull a Silver Turk and be like, oh, it was just a memory wipe happened somewhere in between the comic story and this one, or something to do with the Fob Watch, or some other thing, or the Time War, or some other time-altering event, and we can always do that in expanded universe stuff. But it's like, as for this, it's like, okay, we're adapting a cool storyline, and that's apparently 60th anniversary material, because there was that one guy who was like, oh, we got the Celestial Toymaker back, we got all this stuff back, why are people complaining that it isn't multi-Doctor? Because every single anniversary special before this one has been multi-Doctor in some form. Anyway, who cares, right? That's pretty much all that I know about the Star Beast. Of course, there's tons of leaked footage of filming, but we basically all know what's going to happen. The Doctor's going to meet Donna, they're going to find Beep the Meep. Oh, Beep the Meep's evil? Oh, we gotta fight him. We gotta fight Wrath Warriors. Unit is probably in that special, and then at the end, they get taken away, and the Doctor will be like, what? Boo wee you! Tune in next week. Wild Blue Yonder, I think, is the episode that we're all going to look back in hindsight and be like, wow, we were way off there, because I remember, like, when it first came out, even when the first trailer came out that revealed the titles, I was like, oh, okay, I guess Wild Blue Yonder is just a random filler episode, because, hey, 3 specials sounds better than 2, and it gives us an opportunity to just do a classic Doctor and Donna story. But then someone made a poll, like, which episode are you most excited for? And Wild Blue Yonder won by quite a long shot, and even the top comments said, I wasn't expecting that result. But then I looked, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Like, maybe they are keeping it so secret because maybe something really big is in this special. That gives me flashbacks to Series 11. I remember when Series 11, the trailer came out, and I was like, wow, they didn't, like, reveal any cool stuff in this. And they're like, oh, they're learning from their mistakes. They're not spoiling the big stuff. And then the season came out, and it was like, oh, no, the reason why there wasn't anything big in the trailer is because there's nothing big in the season. So it's like, it's really hit or miss. I feel like worst case scenario is this is not going to be nostalgia filled at all. But I think, like I'm saying, the worst thing, I'm imagining that the worst thing with this episode is that it's going to be a really cool, atmospheric, tense episode, but it just won't actually be related to the past. Because, like, you know, even the poster just shows the Doctor, Donna, and a weird little robot in the background. I even showed, like, the posters to people who know nothing about Doctor Who, and they were like, oh, wow, why is the second one, like, so simplistic compared to the other ones? That seems pretty interesting. Because, like, yeah, like, who knows? Maybe it's the Doctor and Donna. We know that they're probably going to be in a golf cart forklift thing at some point, according to the cover of the Target novel. But, yeah, maybe it's just them going to be playing around for an hour with this little robot who's doing who knows what. Maybe there's a cool gimmick with this robot. We don't know. Maybe it is just a simplistic, interesting story. Or maybe it's hiding a bunch of nostalgia stuff. You know, Russell T Davies did go ahead and say that this was the true 60th anniversary special. He also went ahead and said that this episode originally had like a 6-word title but then they had to get rid of it because it was too spoilery? Like, is that title just something like, The Doctor and Donna meet a robot and then leave? Or is it like, The Six Doctors and Donna Noble? Or the Six Doctors and the Six Doctors and a robot? I don't know. Like, we don't know. We don't know anything about this story. But we do know that it's probably going to be filmed mostly inside. Because judging by the trailer, it seems like the Doctor and Donna are going to be stuck here. Those scenes where the Doctor is screaming, why does it have to be this? Ah, your fight is with me. Oh, not your fight is with me, but like the scene where he's in that cage. It's like, that could be in the last special, but it also looks like it'll be in the second special, in this Blue Yonder thing, you know? They went ahead and put redacted all over the trailer, which tons of people have talked about. David Tennant said himself that he apparently filmed a lot of scenes indoors with a bunch of actors / actresses that we won't be expecting. Who knows what that means? Maybe it's just Russell T Davies bringing in a bunch of famous actors. Oh yeah, I just want to mention, personally, for me, I don't really care that much about who's writing an episode, who's directing an episode, who's acting an episode. I don't mean to sound mean. I strive to be a writer myself, but any writer can flop, any writer can do great, any actor can give an amazing performance, any actor can suck. Like, it doesn't matter who's in it. Like, oh, I know that guy, he wrote this thing, he acted in this thing. It doesn't really matter. We don't know how they're going to do in this story. But of course we know that all 3 specials are written by Russell T Davies. Hey, Teddy. Yeah, so we don't really know. I think it'll be really cool, but I think there's a chance. Like, we don't know. That's the thing. This could be characters from The Edge. Could be characters from The Edge. I know that tons of people are like, oh, they're not going to revisit The Edge, it's too soon. Well, we don't know. For all we know, Russell T Davies may have given a nudge to Chris Chibnall and been like, hey, can we make this about The Edge so that I can incorporate it in these new specials? You know? We don't know. We know that Russell T Davies is going to be talking about the timeless children. How many times have I said we don't know in the past 2 minutes? I feel like 20 people already clicked off of this video, if this video even gets 20 views. Oh, hi, Misty. How you doing? Say hi to the camera. Hi to the camera, Misty. Hey, Daddy, I met you. Maybe the characters are taken out of time, like they did in the 5 Doctors, which is funny because I think, like, other than the 5th Doctor, Tegan, and Turlough, like, you know, the only characters who can actually be brought back who were also in the 5 Doctors is Carol Ann Ford and the 1st Doctor through David Bradley. So, you know, now's a good time than ever to bring in Carol Ann Ford. I'm just saying, I'll never say no, it's a bad idea to bring back Carol Ann Ford, no matter what you do, even if it is just like William Russell just sticking him in a small cameo, which I loved. Power of the Doctor reaction video coming out sometime. Teddy, can you quiet down? And of course we got the giggle. The giggle is going to be the grand finale of the 14th Doctor era, the one that we haven't even started yet. And possibly David Tennant's time on the show, because apparently he's worried about getting old. I mean, he is 51, but like, this kind of opens the door now, doesn't it? Because this isn't an issue of bringing a past Doctor back, but oh, they look old now, even though we saw them regenerate when they were young. This is a matter of David Tennant coming back as a new incarnation, but I do get what he means. Like, the Doctor's normally an action-style type hero, but they could always pull a William Hartnell and have have other companions take on the more action-style roles, but I do get it. The world's different now. People want their young action hero type, and maybe that'll change. Maybe Doctor Who can change it. Maybe Russell T Davies can change it. Who knows? But anyway, so while everyone else is probably interested to see like how the 14th Doctor will regenerate, how Donna gets her memories back, which will happen in the Star Beast, and then, like, you know, what's gonna happen? Is she gonna die? Probably not. I'm excited to see when Wilfred will pop up. I mean, like, he hasn't been showing up in any of the trailers, so there's, like, a tiny little part of me that's like, what if they just completely cut out all of his scenes? But we do know that he filmed some stuff. We obviously saw him being pushed by David Tennant in the wheelchair with some bombs going off. It's pretty cool. The one thing that I'm worried about is, like, you know, because David Tennant said that they didn't film as much with him as he'd hoped. So it's mainly a factor of, like, okay, well, what if they film stuff with Wilfred, but what if it, like, tells, like, a chronological story that's supposed to go somewhere, and then Bernard Cribbins passed away before they could film the conclusion, so even if they incorporate his scenes, it's just going to make it look unfinished. So they might have just looked at all of it and said, you know what, we might have to cut him out entirely. Even if they do that, I will be very surprised if they don't show some of his scenes, at least, like, you know, it's like Zack Snyder's Justice League, where it was like, many people were like, oh, like, we want to see the whole footage, and Warner Brothers kept saying, thanks, Teddy, thanks for ruining my deal. And then Warner Brothers said, well, even if we release the footage, it won't look good, it won't look finished, and like, I didn't even care about that movie, but I thought that was a very dumb thing to say, because clearly the fans didn't care how good it looked, they just wanted to see it. You could have uploaded, you could have released the movie and had the Flash's legs look completely really early CGI stage, not even working at all. The fans wouldn't have cared. They didn't care how good it looked, they just wanted to see it. Even if it's just a bonus feature. It wouldn't take any more money at all. Just take what you do have and then add it in. Just put it as a special feature in the new DVD so that fans who do want to see it can see it. No extra money required. I'm sure that there's a lot of legal issues or whatever, and that's why they decided to chuck another $30 million at it to finish all the CGI effects. But even if that is the case, even if the BBC do like just chuck in Bernard Cribbins' unfinished scenes in a special feature, I still won't really feel satisfied. I want to see him in the actual episode. I want to see people review these episodes and be like, what? They managed to film stuff with Bernard Cribbins before he passed away? I know that's pretty morbid. I know that's, you know, kind of objectifying him in a way. But it's like, this is the last stuff that he filmed. I want to see his final work. But when it comes to the giggle itself, you know, you've heard all the theories, the idea that this might take place in the year 20... I forgot what century we're in for a second. It might take place in the year 2026, which would be the 100-year anniversary of the first television broadcast of that puppet that we've seen in the trailer. So maybe the toy maker is doing something with that puppet, so that recordings of it, when it's broadcast on the 100th anniversary, is going to drive people crazy and turn them into vicious monsters or whatever. And then you got Kate Stewart, you got Mel Bush, who we know is in these trailers. We know that she's in these specials, saw him in the background. Thanks, Disney. Thanks, Disney, for leaking the Christmas special title. Silly Disney doesn't know what they're doing. Anyway, always count on Disney to make those leaks. But anyway, so, they got those little wristbands to keep them immune. Hopefully Susan maybe appears, but, you know, I feel like that's maybe more likely to be a Wild Blue Yonder thing, considering how secret that is. But then again, they tried to keep Mel a secret here, too. You know. So chances are we aren't going to see Mel outside. We're probably not going to see her much at all. We're probably not... That scene where we hear Donna say, what about Mel, is probably in this episode. It's probably indoors. Of course, the door behind Kate Stewart in that open fire scene is probably belonging to the toy maker. It probably leads to his realm. And that's why I don't really care about this whole driving people crazy subplot. I want to see Doctor Who try and do Squid Game, because I think that's what they're going to try and do. Because, you know me, I made a video about how I don't really like Squid Game that much, and literally my only reason for that is because it's the popular one. Well, there are other reasons too, like, I don't like how episode 2 just completely ditches the game aspect, and it's just like, oh, here's the drama, here's why these people would want to return to the game. You don't have to explain that to me. I read Liar Game, which is a much better version of this story that came out freaking decades before Squid Game did, and they didn't waste a whole bunch of time explaining why humans would want to play potentially deadly games to avoid being in debt. And I know that the games in Liar Game aren't necessarily deadly, but, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to explain why people want to avoid being in debt. That's obvious. Every single human, it's a universal fear. You know, money isn't really worth anything, but it's incorporated into our society. Okay, sorry. I'll stop complaining about Squid Game. Doctor Who's probably going to go Squid Game here. Russell T Davies is obsessed with trying to do what the hip kids will find popular these days, and what the hip kids find popular these days is Squid Game. And Alice in Borderland if you're a cool person. Squid Game if you're a nerd. But if you're a cool person, then you're thinking of Alice in Borderland. Or Liar Game if you're the frickin' Chad. But anyway, Doctor Who's probably going to play some games. Toymaker's going to drop the Doctor and Donna in his little dollhouse as puppets. I'll turn on the camera and then a timer goes off. And then the Doctor and Donna are probably going to race around and do a bunch of little games. Or maybe they're only going to do one game. You know, I want the main focus of this episode to be on the games. I hope that the Squid Game aspect isn't entirely completely dropped or only thrown into like 5 or 15 minutes of the actual episode. I want this to take up most of the episode. I want to see some creative games, creative rules that the Doctor and Donna can use their wits to exploit. But that's probably me doing wishful thinking, wanting to see more of a franchise that Doctor Who isn't really related to. They might play a few games, but I think in an episode titled The Giggle, they're probably going to focus more on the giggle and less on the games, which is a little bit disappointing for me. What I do find interesting is that... Okay, I just have a quick note here that the Toymaker is obviously going to break into a song that's going to taunt the Doctor and Donna. I can't wait to see that. I want to see this episode try and be really serious, and then suddenly Neil Patrick Harris just breaks into a freaking musical number, which he's able to do in universe, because he's the Toymaker. He can play with reality. I think that'll be super funny, like super like morbidly like dark humor funny. And then also, in Liberation of the Daleks, the Doctor is exterminated by Daleks, but he manages to miraculously survive. I'm not sure if that's been explained in the comic yet. Maybe it'll be explained at the end, but I think it's probably going to be explained in the show. I think the Doctor is very clearly immortal or whatever. Something is keeping him in this form and keeping him alive because the Toymaker wants to toy with him. He wants to do something specific with the Doctor, and until that need is fulfilled, he's going to keep the Doctor alive in this form. You know, obviously the clothes changed. I do not understand why so many people think that the first Doctor changed clothes when he regenerated into the second Doctor. Like, they think that his clothes changed with his form. That didn't happen. If you literally look on the surviving clips that we have of the Power of the Daleks episode 1, the episode is missing. But if you look at the surviving clips that we have, it shows the second Doctor stumbling over the console in the first Doctor's coat that's too big for him, and then it shows him like digging around in a chest box, not wearing the coat anymore, for more clothes. He didn't change his clothes when he regenerated. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I'm a big dum-dum, but I'm pretty sure I'm not here. So the 13th Doctor changing clothes magically when she regenerated into the 14th Doctor is unique and has never happened before, not even in the 60s, no matter what those people think. So that's interesting. It probably has to do with the Toymaker's game. It's unknown if the 14th Doctor is actually gonna die. I hope that he does. I hope that's not just a case of like, oh, the Toymaker's defeated, now the 14th Doctor is going to regenerate because nothing's keeping him in that form anymore. Maybe the 14th Doctor isn't actually even going to get a regeneration scene. Maybe the Toymaker will just go away, and then the 14th Doctor just like doesn't even combust into 15. He just like, maybe they just turn and he's suddenly 15. We've heard Yasmin Finney, who plays the new Rose character, said that she filmed some scenes with Ncuti Gatwa, or maybe it was Ncuti Gatwa. I don't know. I'm not sourcing my stuff. I'm sorry, I'm too lazy for that. I'm barely energetic enough these days to even release this video. I'm hoping that I can upload this video today at the same day that I'm filming it, November 9th, 2023. So if you guys, like, you know, you guys can find stuff online, and if you guys are gonna call me a hack for not sourcing my stuff, then hey, I guess you guys can just, have a fun little reaction video when you find out that all my predictions are correct. So, we know that 15th Doctor is probably going to spend some time with Rose and possibly Donna if she's still around, and maybe some of the other characters too, which I think is a very good plan. Obviously, we know that Unit and Kate and Mel and her orange motorbike are all going to be in Series 14, or who knows, maybe those scenes are from The Giggle. Don't necessarily know for sure. Maybe they like filmed some extra stuff. Like, we don't know. But I think that that's very clever. You know, I think, like, obviously Series 14 or this Christmas special or whatever are meant to be starting off points. I think the Christmas special is going to be a good starting off point because it'll introduce us to Ruby Sunday, and I think Series 14 Episode 1 will be a good jumping on point because it'll introduce people to them already traveling. Interesting enough, we still don't know if Ruby Sunday is spelt like Sunday the day or Sunday the ice cream. I think it'll have something to do with the plot, because I'm pretty sure when Millie Gibson was first introduced on like a live show, they asked her specifically, how do you spell your character's last name? And she said, it's a bit spoilery, I'm not sure if I can reveal that. That might mean nothing. Maybe it's just to throw us off. Maybe it's just because Millie Gibson genuinely had no idea if she was able to say anything about her character at all. But I think it'd be cool if that somehow incorporated, you know, a little twist. Maybe we think that her name's spelled one way and then suddenly we see a file, or maybe she reveals that her name is spelled another way and that has some sort of impact on the plot. I don't think it'll be anything like dramatic, but I just think it'd be cool, like a funny little twist. Yes, I know that we've seen official postings of like, but I'm sure like, I'm not even sure what's official anymore. Does the Doctor Who Twitter actually know everything about what's going to happen in these upcoming episodes? It's not like the BBC's run by a hive mind of people who know 100% everything about everything. And even if they did spell them out, maybe that's the wrong way. Maybe it's meant to throw us off. Something I do wonder though is, are the 13th Doctor's clothes gone forever? Because like, I know that I'm not supposed to think about it, but she took those clothes from like an Earth, like, it wasn't a hospital, but it was like, I don't know, she took it from some Earth store of some kind. So those were clothes that like people put effort into making, and then suddenly they just disappear from reality. Like, this is a case of matter being destroyed, something that should be impossible. The clothes just magically changing into other clothes, and maybe the Doctor will take these clothes off, because, I don't know, you know, if he magically combusts again and changes clothes again once the Toymaker dies, don't want to see those clothes disappear as well. You just created new matter. You could send those to, some science agency, probably get some sort of Nobel Prize for your contribution to science, figuring out how this matter even came into existence. Regardless, maybe you can probably do that with tons of things with the Toymaker, but this is like tangible stuff that we can use. This is the clothes that the Doctor is wearing, and maybe it's foreshadowing for how the 15th Doctor is apparently going to be changing outfits every other episode. There was that big finished short strip written by somebody of a guy who had the 15th Doctor make a cameo in an 11th Doctor story, but he didn't like know anything about him. Like, we hadn't even seen him in that orange jumper outfit yet at the time that he was writing that. So he just described that future version of the Doctor as a dark figure, and he said he would have made that more obvious if he saw the outfit. But if the 15th Doctor was changing outfits all the time, maybe it's a good thing, because, you know, he probably changes into older outfits sometimes too. Ooh, imagine if the 15th Doctor actually starts wearing like previous Doctor's costumes. Nah, I think some fans would be upset about that. Not for any reason, but just like, you know, it just sounds like something that they would be upset by. Obviously, I think it would be cool if the 14th Doctor's last words are "I'm ready to go," or "I'm ready," or something like that, and then the, you know, the end of time music that played during his regeneration the first time plays again, but maybe with a more like hopeful, like, zing to it. And then, you know, I hope the New Doctor soundtrack plays again when he regenerates into the 15th Doctor. I think it would be cool if the 15th Doctor's first words are, "I'm still not Ginger." Every time that I say that, it causes, like, some controversy, because some people say, like, oh, I can't think of worse words for the first Black Doctor. But here's the thing. Just hear me out for a second, because it's like, the way that I see it is people love to pretend that Doctor Who's political. It is sometimes, but like the point is, like, people love to say like, oh, they cast like this many white people, this many colored people, this many women, this many men. It's like crazy, because like they don't even realize that they're the ones who are bringing politics into it. You know, you've probably heard all this stuff before. So I think it would be cool if we do have, like, I think it would have been cool. Like, instead of Peter Capaldi being like, oh, I'm old now, which, like, you know, he didn't say. Like, none of the Doctors said any of this. But, you know, when you see the 12th Doctor appear, you immediately think, whoa, he's, like, old. Isn't the Doctor supposed to be young? You see the 13th Doctor, you're like, oh, she's a woman. And it's like, you see this, but then if the Doctor just looks in the mirror and doesn't pay any attention to that, just says, dang it, I want it to be Ginger, and pays literally no attention to the thing that the viewers might be paying attention to, it'll send a signal to the viewer that you're not supposed to care about that. This is the Doctor. This is the guy that we're going to follow for the next couple of seasons. That's just what I think. Apparently no one else agrees with me. That's just my take. Now that we're on to the next era, I guess I might as well change shirt, because it's, you know, new era, and Ncuti Gatwa changes outfit, and also it's the next day. Series 14, we know we'll have 8 episodes. I hope that that's a good... Oh, I should talk about the Christmas special. Right, we have a 2023 Christmas special that'll be coming right after the 60th specials, I assume, to keep up the momentum a bit. We've seen, like, some footage of Ncuti Gatwa telling some people to run. Apparently a snowman falls on him, and he just punches his way out. Saw some footage of him, like, just walking, and then a cop tries to get in front of him, and then he just, like, turns around and then immediately starts walking the other way. So, just judging by those scenes alone, I think it's going to be very upbeat and funny. And there was, like, a very detailed leak that did predict the title that Disney so casually and gracefully told us will be the Church of Ruby Road. Not Ruby Sunday. which I still think is kind of sus. I still think that there might be a little bit of twist that Sunday might be spelt either the day or the ice cream or something else that we don't know. I don't know. We don't know, right? But anyway, yeah, we saw, like, you know, Ruby running after a car, shouting "Mom" or whatever. So I think that it will be, like, a little bit emotional, especially seeing as Ruby's theme by Murray Gold is very sad compared to Ncuti Gatwa's, like, da 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 da. That's the Stanley Parable song. But the leak just talked about a very, like, almost, like, corny comedic premise, and the ending's like Ncuti Gatwa going back in time to stop a Christmas tree from falling on somebody. Maybe that's more dramatic than I think it is, but it sounds like it's going to be a very funny, fun time, which I think is what Disney wants, and I think is probably what we will want after a hopefully very emotional 60th anniversary celebrations. And then we move on to Series 14, which will have 8 episodes, and I hope that means that's quality over quantity, because I don't really know how the fans will react when an episode of Series 14 sucks, because I don't think they're all going to be good. But then again, if one of them is to suck, I hope it's episode 2, or 3, or 6. Because we need, like, a strong opening episode, we need a strong middle, and a strong ending. And the only information that we have, other than, you know, some vague, oh, this episode was going to have a title, but then it was too spoilery. Russell T Davies said that episode 4 is apparently one of the greatest things he has ever written. I don't know if that means that it's on par with Heaven Sent. I don't know if that means that it's beyond Heaven Sent. I don't know if that means that we'll watch it and then suddenly reach Nirvana right then and there. But hopefully it lives up, because Russell T Davies just gave episode 4 quite a strong premise right there. One of the greatest things he's ever written, eh? You're setting the bar up high. You're trying to trick us? Is episode 4 the bad one, and that's going to make us appreciate the others? Like, I feel like that could also backfire, because then we might, like, be like, oh, episode 4 was supposed to be great, therefore everything sucks by comparison, and episode 4 sucks, so all the others must suck. I don't know, people can be dumb sometimes. But let's just hope that it delivers. We've seen some footage of, like, Ncuti Gatwa in, like, a little afro and a blue, like, striped suit, and Millie Gibson. It looks like it's going to be a historical episode. And I saw, like, footage of them, like, walking out of the TARDIS like this in a little march. So I think that's going to be a little comedic thing. You know, you see Ncuti Gatwa filming, and, like, you know, you can't tell if he's noticing someone filming or if it's part of the script, but he's just, like, walking out of the TARDIS, and then he, like, turns, and then he's like, what's with the sonic screwdriver? So I think he's going to have, like, a lot of energy. Like, it's going to be really fun, I think, his Doctor. Like Mr. TARDIS, I think it was, said, like, he might be the next Tom Baker or David Tennant, you know? He's young, he's full of energy. Not that you have to be that way to be an iconic Doctor. Like, I just talked earlier about how, you know, we might be able to get another era where the Doctor is, like, older and stuff like that again. But I think that this Doctor will be great, hopefully. And, you know, so it seems like they're going to have a historical. We saw them standing in a staircase with a guy who apparently, like, was mean to someone on Twitter, and then Ncuti Gatwa said that he blocked him or unfriended him or whatever. So that's, we already got a potentially controversial figure in an episode, but whatever. Who knows? Maybe that's episode 4. Maybe it's completely historical. Maybe it's got some alien premise. I don't know. I just hope that this season is very experimental. I really like experimental stuff, and I think Doctor Who should go way more experimental than it often does. It shouldn't just be Doctor lands on a planet, there's some alien threat, Doctor fixes it, the end. Like, I hope that there's, like, an episode that takes place entirely, like, in some, like, you know, some, like White House, like, I don't know, like, I just imagine, like, you know, like the house from Amy's Choice? Like, just make an episode entirely in there, like, Chimes of Midnight style. I don't know, I like, it's just, simplify the stories. You know, it's like Series 11, like, people won't be upset that there aren't that many references to the past if your stories are really good and out there. 2024 Christmas special, all that we know is that this exists. At the time of filming this anyway, to my knowledge, Russell T Davies went on a little rant the other day about how he's writing a Christmas special, but not the 2023 one, the 2024 one, because he works fast. And then we have Series 15, where we have, like, some footage of, like, some soldiers who don't look like they're from UNIT, they look like they're from, like, World War I or something like that. Who knows if that's the Christmas special or if it's from Series 15. I mean, hopefully it's interesting. I don't know, could go either way, could be really boring. I'm not big into, like, war stories, but who knows, maybe it'll be very cool. Oh, I find Series 15, Season 2, Series 15, very interesting, because Russell T Davies has actually dropped more hints about what it's going to tackle than Series 14. I assume that's because Series 14 is supposed to act as a little, like, introduction, you know, it's supposed to be another jumping on point. But Series 15, Russell T Davies has said in an interview, you've probably seen it, like where he talks about global warming, everyone's favorite topic to talk about. But he mentions that when he was writing his first era from 2005 to 2010, he was worried that children were being put in a very hopeless mental state, constantly being told about climate change, being told about nuclear war, being told that the world might end within their lives. So Russell T Davies wanted to kind of give them a little bit of hope, and that's why a lot of his episodes are about actually you survive. He references specifically the scene at the end of the world, which I don't really know what he's getting at, because that's kind of just the Ninth Doctor talking about how the world will eventually end. Personally, the thing that comes to mind for me is Utopia, when the Doctor goes to the end of the universe. Goes to the end of the universe and he sees like a group of people sitting there, and the Doctor gives like a little mini speech like, wow, you humans, you're always worried about something killing you, but actually you survive, you make it to the end of the universe. And that was kind of like what the New Earth trilogy was kind of all about, is like, oh, like in the end of the world it's Cassandra, she's the last human and she's not even a human. Like I've heard people say that they even like were, not that the end of the world was too campy, but that Cassandra being stretched out skin was too scary for them, and that's what made them bail out of the show. And then you get to New Earth and it's revealed, oh, there are actually a lot of humans, they were just stuck in a different state. And then you get to Gridlock, and I don't really remember where that went, but is Captain Jack even human? No, I don't think so. What a waste for Revolution of the Daleks to have Captain Jack, a character who has had his memory wiped of his beginnings, and have him meet up with the Doctor, who's also struggling with having her memory wiped at the beginning and not do anything with it. Sorry, I just had to get that in there. So Series 15 will apparently tackle the other perspective, because Russell Davies thinks that it would be too naive nowadays to try and do that now, try and give humans hope that they will actually survive, because humans are too, like, used to the idea that the world might end within their lives. So apparently he's going to tackle that. I assume he's still going to try and put some hope in, but then again, I've heard about some other shows like Years and Years where it gets very hopeless and he covers the worst of the worst, and like, I don't know, the Doctor has always been a character of hope. Doctor Who has always tried to be a show of hope. I just hope that Russell T Davies doesn't screw it up too much. How long has it been since I filmed that? November 9th is what I said? It's now Doctor Who Day. It's November 23rd. Yeah, I was there for the 3-hour thing. And the new trailer looks great. I'm actually shocked with how much like new footage we're seeing. Like, I didn't like, people were all like, oh, like, is this like the first time that we're seeing footage of Ncuti? It's like, what is all the footage that we've actually seen that we know is of Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson as their new characters? We have Ncuti Gatwa saying, what the hell is going on here? We have him, like, okay, opening his eyes in the trailer with what looks like the edge of existence. Everyone's like, it's not going to make a grand return. Russell T Davies had nothing to say on the script. Well, we don't know. Maybe Russell T Davies and Chris Chibnall were out for coffee one day and Chris Chibnall got his idea from that. Or maybe a friend of Russell T Davies, or a friend of a friend. We have no idea how ideas get around. We have no idea what's going to happen. But anyway, so we have those two clips. Then we have in that Whoniverse intro, Ncuti Gatwa like staring and crying. And then in the new trailer that was just released today, we see that that's apparently like with the TARDIS and some rainy road. Maybe that's from Flux, eh? Where the Weeping Angel first appeared. Who knows? In the background. And then we had like a brief clip of Millie Gibson just kind of like standing and looking. And then we have like another clip of her again. Like just kind of staring in the red shirt. I want to pull up the clip. Like, surely BBC won't dare to copyright me for pulling up a single image of their own promotional material. Surely Doctor Who wouldn't copyright someone for sharing their own promotional material. So, what do we got? I do really like this trailer. Like, I just think it's a good trailer for Doctor Who as a whole. Like, it properly shows, like, every era. Although it is worth noting that, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but Captain Jack is nowhere to be seen. Poor guy. Okay, come on. Show me the clip. For such a short trailer, it's so long to wait for a specific image. Can we rely on you, Doctor? Oh, yes! Bruh, I sit through the entire second half of the trailer and it's not even here. Huh. I want to sit on an exercise ball. This exercise ball that I've had for such a long time. But I think it's slightly deflated, and also I think that maybe I'm getting a little bit too heavy, that if I actually, like, let myself relax, it'll, like, explode. Oh, here we go! Wait, pause. This image. So we have that image of her. She looks relieved and happy about something. We also saw lead footage of her like running down a car shouting "Mom." I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. And then we also got that new, BBC released 60 Years in 60 Seconds, where that surprise, we just see a clip of Millie Gibson. Pause! I saw the Ncuti Gatwa clip. God dang it. There it is. So TARDIS in the background, dark, rainy road, whatever. And then BBC released a new 60 Years in 60 Seconds. Bro, I just want to get this video uploaded, dude. I'm so freaking sick of it taking forever to get a video uploaded. Like, I gotta get this uploaded before the Star Beast comes out, surely. Where's the BBC YouTube channel when you need it? Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official BBC YouTube channel. Show me the clip. This one we got scary looking shit. Increase the brightness a bit. Scary looking Ncuti Gatwa grabbing Millie Gibson. Anyway, the only other thing that I think that we know about Series 15 is that Russell T Davies also briefly said in an interview that apparently it's going to handle a very similar plot. The way that he described it, it sounded very similar to the Superman plot about... I love it when my lack of memory just shows how little effort compared to other YouTubers I put. Do you remember the olden days of YouTube when you can make a video like this and easily be considered like, oh, good job, you made a YouTube video, good job. Now it's like, where's this low effort content? There's a Superman story where Superman is told like, hey, you're doing too much for humans, you're not letting them stand up for themselves, you're not letting them evolve, you gotta back down a bit. And then Superman has a sort of existential crisis. And then, he arrives at a town and, like, saves them from an earthquake, but then everyone just wants him to do stuff like build him a new roof. They're very demanding. They're like, Superman, my house has lost its roof. Build me a new one. And then he has to say, like, look, like, I'll save you from earthquakes and stuff that, like, you can't realistically be expected to deal with, at least at this point in your, development. But I can't always save you from... your normal problems. It's like in Captain Underpants Book 11, where Melvin was like, soon he was like just getting wallets out of toilets for people. So apparently it's going to be very similar to that. There's going to be a story arc or story in Series 15 that's going to deal with that. Why the Doctor can't just go and save humanity from all of its problems. What's in this book? The Coming of Superman, The Mystery of the Freight Train Robberies, Revolution, Origin of Vigilante, The Terrifying Torment, How I Saved Superman, Too Many Heroes, Superman, Super Key, Super Duel in Space, Super Endurance, The World's Greatest Heroine, The Spectacular, The Assassin's Express Contract, I think it's in the other book. Your research has to be so hard. I just want to get this video out by the end of tomorrow. What if Superman ended the war? Blah blah blah. Must there... Is it this one? Must there be a Superman? Page 69. Must there be a Superman? I think it's this one. Yeah, Superman's visited by an alien race, and he tells off a bully. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, see? I told you, there's a character, and he's like, oh, the roof fell off my house, build me a new one. So, it's that story that's going to be in Doctor Who, but it's going to deal with the Doctor. Personally, I think the Doctor's kind of treated as a little bit more overpowered than he actually is. Like, especially in the classic series, he's not exactly the most, like, physically active. I'd like to see the first Doctor battle Rick Sanchez, eh? And then after that, we don't really have anything. We just know that Russell T Davies is definitely planning to do one season and a Christmas special every year forever, apparently. I assume he's going to try and actually, like, train up a successor. Like, I assume that's on his, like, list of things to do. We know that apparently he's planning to stay on for 4 seasons because he said that the music of Mary Gold is so good that he was considering doing an episode entirely with music and no dialogue. But if he were to do that, he'd have to do it in Season 4, which would be Series 17, because Series 16 is already planned out, apparently. So it makes me wonder what's going to happen if these new episodes flop. You know, if Doctor Who has to be cancelled, then you can't be telling me that I'm running out of battery again. I'm almost at the end of the video, come on! But yeah. So there's that. Russell has said before that he is interested in staying on until Season 4. Theory says that he might stay on until Season 7. I think this is all really, like... I feel bad. This is kind of harsh, but I feel like it's kind of dumb to be talking about, oh, I'm going to stay on for this many seasons, because A, we don't know. Russell has said that he wants to stay on for years to come, and then B, it's also like, we don't know how well these are going to do. It's like, people will sometimes ask me, like, how long I'm planning to stay at my current job. Like, my current job isn't anything special, I'm just, like, a dishwasher. But when people ask me, like, how long I'm planning to stay there, I don't really know how to answer it, because it's like, I don't have any current plans to leave. I still feel like I've only just started working there, so it's like, I don't really know how to answer it. It's not something like, oh, I'm planning to stay for this many years. Like, no, you just see what the future holds. You never know what can happen. You never know if another worldwide pandemic is gonna happen. God forbid. But, yeah. And also, just yesterday, I think, there were a couple articles posted that apparently Russell was just finished a script for May 2025, which probably means Series 15, that he apparently had to bring in a diagram when he pitched it just to explain what was going on, which apparently is something that he's never done in his entire life. I wonder how many times Moffat had to do it. So, yeah, and that's pretty much all that we know, all that I know. I'm sure there's information that I missed. I'm sure there's information coming out all the time, but I need to get this video out because the Star Beast is airing tomorrow. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, got something out of it. Sorry that it's not as high quality as... Hi, Jenny. Sorry that my videos aren't as high quality as, say, like Crispy Pro or Full Fat videos or all the other Who Culture, obviously. Sorry, I'm not those people. I'm Carolou744. I started YouTube in 2014 and still kicking at it from time to time. So, thank you all so much for watching, both new viewers and people who have watched me for a while. And yeah, don't mean to make this all emotional like it's a subscriber special, but yeah, like, dislike, comment, subscribe. See you around, guys. Bye-bye.
You have a nice nappy, Teddy.
Three minutes of battery, 3 minutes of room, gotta go charge. Hey, what's up, guys? Disney's giving them money, so whatever. Anyway, I just want to make this quick. So, just covering everything that's gonna come out. So, just, you know, we don't know what this episode is gonna be. It could be really cool. It could suck. Who knows where that's from? What's the Superman story where Superman has to teach humanity not to always rely on him? I don't know what else to say. I know it's in a book upstairs. Do I have to go get the book? What's the Superman comic story where Superman saves a town from an earthquake? Frick you, I gotta go get the book.